Because Dominique Dawes has been unable to properly train for the floor exercise while she nurses her injured foot, she's dropped out of the floor exercise competition, but she still will be competing in the beam. That does drop her out of the all-around, though. Here's Bi Wenjing from China. She finished third in the uneven bars. Now she's at the beam.
And during the workouts, I could not take my eyes off these Chinese gymnasts on this event. Their choreography is superb, both with the dance and acrobatic elements. It's a very difficult pass. Round off layout.
Boy, did she nail that.
In my opinion, they're the best balance beam workers in the world. For skills like this, they don't just do what's required. They go above and beyond.
On the beam, Dominique Moceanu earned a 9.675.
He's having a little bit of trouble with that in the workouts as well. There's her gymnastics acrobatic series, the dance element right into the back handspring. Oh, that's a shame. She fell on a very difficult jump. Taking her eyes off the balance beam is always risky, but you typically do it so well. There's an interesting dismount. Front handspring to a front with a 1.5 twist.
During a trip to Washington, D.C. yesterday, members of the People's Republic of China delegation took the opportunity to pose in front of the nation's Capitol building. Smiles all around. Number 2 in the all-around needs a 9.57 to take the lead. And remember, Dominique Dawes pulled out of the floor exercise event, dropping her out of the all-around contest.
What's most amazing about Svetlana and her comeback is that she's actually increased her difficulty in some areas, including this opening tumbling pass. Watch this. Iranian double front.
Oh.
She stuck that beautifully not 3 minutes ago in the final warm-up.
China's Bi Wenjing's mark on the balance beam was a 9.075.
This is a difficult pass for her. 2.5 twist. She's working a punch front out of that. She still has a flair for the dramatic, though. Beautiful exercise. Unfortunate fall on the first tumbling run. I still think she's going to be pleased. She's got to get used to competition again, and it's a very different thing from workout to being under pressure.
It's a very difficult move to land because she's flipping forward. And she did rush the takeoff a little bit. Trying to pull it around, opened up slightly early. That's a major deduction.
Bogunskaya's fall on the floor dropped her mark to a 9.1. Next up on beam is China's Meng Fei, the youngster who did that release move on the uneven bars. Bart, it seems like the Chinese gymnasts have been underscored here.
It really does, and I think it's a travesty what the judges have done to these terrific Chinese gymnasts here. They came here to introduce some completely new moves, but because the judges underscored them, it's as if they're trying to limit their creativity. I just don't get it. Remember 20 years ago, the judges tried to limit Olga Korbut's acrobatics? Well, it didn't work then, and it won't work now.
And I completely agree with you, Bart. And this is a perfect example. The Chinese in this competition are so creative, both on the balance beam and the uneven bars. They continue to do more than is expected of them. Like this front with a half. There are much easier skills they could do to get the exact same number of bonus points. Yet they're not content with that. And they're artists as well.
Their style really is to take the sport to another level, add a new dimension, a new element, something people have never seen before.
Beautiful mixed theories, gymnastics, acrobatic elements combined.
Even though you said she was underscored in the earlier apparatus, a 9.85 out of her here will allow her to take the lead in the all-around.
She's a little weak on her dismount. Requires a little bit more power. Let's see how she does it here. 2 back handsprings. Much better than in the workout. This is a highly difficult skill, which is why we've only seen a handful of gymnasts ever even attempt it, much less do it this well.
On beam, Meng Fei earns a 9.65. Our standings after 3 rotations show that the United States, with Dominique Dawes taking a 0 in floor exercise, drops well back, while China trails Belarus by just under 0.4 of a point. A chance here on the beam, her 4th apparatus.
And oddly enough, even though she hasn't competed in a serious competition in 2.5 years, had decided to retire and then come back, she's probably most comfortable on the balance beam. For a number of years, I believe she held the unofficial title of Queen of the Beam. Well deserved.
You really can see the difference in her maturity and poise compared to some of the 13-year-olds here. She doesn't rush, very controlled.
With Dawes dropping out of the floor exercise, it'll be interesting to see how she does in the beam in comparison to Svetlana.
Watch this, a double turn. Very difficult. She got nervous. Halfway through. That's just because she hasn't been in competition for a while. Nice double back. And the veteran that she is, she fights for every single landing. She doesn't want to give up 1/10 of a point.
In the team battle going on here, all the pressure is being put on the likes of this 13-year-old, Katie Teft. Brex must count.
If I had to pick the gymnast with the best variety of difficulty, I'd have to say Katie. With an opening pass like that, she's off to a great start. Watch that double turn in the air.
Over on the beam, Bogunskaya earned a 9.725.
She shows very different skills of difficulty, both in dance and in tumbling. It's great to see. And remember, we've already seen her do a double back with a full twist, out of whip backs. Now she's going to tumble forward with a double twist.